What's going on, guys? I'm Zulushi, and today I'm going to go over 5 things you need to do to improve at Fortnite and go pro. I'm on the road to becoming a pro player, so I'm currently practicing all 5 of these topics I'm about to cover. Without further ado, let's get into the video. Tip number 1, develop a consistent warm-up routine and stick to it. Everyone knows they should warm up before they play, but people don't always warm up efficiently. I found myself to be way more consistent in game if my warm-up routine included practice for all of my mechanics, meaning my building, editing, piece control, aim, and fighting skills. Building and editing can easily be warmed up by free building in creative. Practice a variety of high ground retakes, side jumps, thwifo cones, and triple edits, and try to combo them all together. Make sure to take note of what building technique or edit you often mess up and practice accordingly. Piece control can be warmed up by using Raider's piece control map. This map lets you practice a ton of different piece control situations, and it really works on your muscle memory. With enough practice on this map, your piece control should become second nature. Aim can be warmed up with a variety of maps. My favorites are Raiders 1v1 aim duels and headshot only box fights. 1v1 aim duels places you and an opponent in a variety of situations to practice your aim. Headshot only box fights, as its name implies, puts you in a box fight with 15 other players, which you can only eliminate by hitting a 200 pump. Lastly, all of your mechanics and fighting skills can be warmed up by 1v1ing other players. You can choose which maps you want to play, but my favorites are realistic 1v1s and 1v1 Zonewars. Both of these maps allow you to queue up against random players. Tip number 2, stop taking 50-50s. This is one of the biggest mistakes that always gets me killed in arena and tournaments. A 50-50 is a situation where you and your opponent have an equal opportunity to shoot each other, and whoever hits for more damage wins the fight. Here are a few examples of 50-50s you should avoid. Making an arch edit while your opponent pressures you. In this situation, you should always make a right hand peek, whether that's a window edit or a peanut butter. This next type of 50-50 gets a ton of people killed. When you have a ramp over an opponent, instead of editing straight down, edit out to the side and go for a right hand peek. Or you could half the ramp and go for a peanut butter peek. The next 50-50 is where you piece up an opponent and then jump into the box. Instead, you should stay up top and go for a jump shot, or hide behind a wall and take a right hand peek. Even if you have a health advantage over an opponent, you should always make smart peeks and avoid 50-50s so your opponent doesn't hit a bailout 200 pump. Tip number 3, VOD review and find out why you're dying. I know you always hear pros and other YouTubers tell you that you need to VOD review in order to go pro. I'll be honest with you, I hate VOD reviewing and I think it's boring and time consuming. However, this doesn't mean it's not beneficial. It boils down to this: if you never take note of the mistakes you make, you'll repeatedly die to the same mistakes. Your VOD review should consist of an analysis of 2 categories, mechanics and game sense. When analyzing your mechanics, look out for builds and edits you frequently mess up and bad peaks that make you take damage, aka 50-50s. You should also look at what type of shots you miss in game, whether that's shotgun flicks or SMG and AR tracking. When analyzing your game sense, you should look out for bad positioning, rotation, and fights. An example of this is when you die to Storm in a fight. Chances are you could have disengaged from the fight or not taken the fight at all. Another example is getting lobby focused. Watch back your gameplay and see if you made a bad rotation that placed you in the line of fire of a bunch of different enemies. If you're in the same boat as me and you hate VOD reviewing, here's what you need to hear. I struggle with VOD reviewing because I don't find it fun. However, I need to get over this because it is critical for eliminating the mistakes in my gameplay. Tip number 4, practice with players who are better than you. I know it's fun to go into FFA lobbies or lobbies with your IRL console friends and absolutely plow through everyone. Even though it's satisfying to hit clips against a bunch of less skilled players, it does not lend to your improvement. When you play against inexperienced players, your missed shots, bad peaks, and 50-50s are not punished, which leads you to keep making those mistakes. In order to improve, you need to play against other competitive players who will punish your every mistake and force you to change your techniques in order to get better. I'm not saying to ghost everyone you think you're better than, but go try to find some people who will push you to become a better player. Finally, tip number 5, be self-aware, both physically and mentally. Being physically aware means you need to be aware of your physical response to the game. I found that if I'm in a tense situation, I hold my breath and tense up. This makes my gameplay shaky and leads me to miss a lot of easy shots. It basically throws all of my aim training out the window and gives me potato aim. So, how do we fix this? Being self-aware allows you to recognize this response and react accordingly. For me, this involves taking a couple deep breaths and trying to relax my body. This takes a lot of practice, and I have nowhere near mastered the art of not becoming shaky or nervous during intense situations. You should also be aware of your mentality. If you just got griefed in a tournament and you're seething and angry, you need to be aware of that and actively respond. This could mean getting up for a couple minutes, taking some deep breaths, and drinking some cold water. Being self-aware can make you perform better under stressful conditions and help you react more positively to unfortunate situations. Alright guys, those are all the topics for today. I know I'm not a pro player yet, but I plan to implement all 5 of these techniques in order to help me improve in the long run. Maybe we'll look back in a year and say, damn, that's how Zulu got so good. If any of these tips helped you out, like the video or use code Zulushi in the item shop to support me. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.